From my time scouring the entirety of Cadence of Hyrule, I came up with a few useful tips that should help beginners get a better foothold on the game, while also maybe shining some light on some aspects that you might have missed if you're already chipping away at your adventure. Struggling with living through the early game or just want a few tricks to do during combat? Well, let's get into it. First off, a slight quality of life improvement for quicker map navigation. Once you obtain the loot, you can now warp to any activated Chica stone on the map, and although you can take the time to equip the loot, play it, and then warp, it's far easier and much faster to simply open your map, select exactly where you want to go, and avoid having to use the loot ever again. Well, unless you manage to get stuck in a dungeon and have to use it to warp to the entrance, which I did manage to do once with a little maneuver I'll explain later. If you're having a hard time making progress at the beginning of the game, instead of using your precious diamonds to get new items or to increase your max health, save up for your very first purchase to be the long-reaching spear, which allows you to attack from one extra tile away. Perhaps the most powerful single upgrade you'll ever make to your character, and it makes the game drastically easier. Even this basic spear can carry you through the vast majority of the game, since its extended reach allows for far more wiggle room when managing fights while still keeping the rhythm multiplier going, which you'll want to do of course, because if you keep this up, you will be rewarded in the long run with better chances of obtaining diamonds. Confused on where to go next on the map and seem to be just wandering around? Look for the fortune teller shop spread throughout the map, and for a small donation, we'll gladly read your future and pinpoint where exactly on the map you should go next, big obvious arrow and all. Since we were just talking about the shops, now is a perfect time to talk about the incredibly powerful health potions in this game. If you have a bottle, it should always be filled with as many red potions as you can carry, since in Cadence of Hyrule you don't have to manually drink them when your health is low, because they will auto-consume when you run out of HP, similar to how the fairies in a bottle function in traditional Zelda games. If you have the rupees and an empty bottle, you need to have these powerful resurrection potions in your pockets. If you're trying to save up your diamonds for a certain upgrade, like perhaps that insanely good spear I mentioned before, make sure to put that shovel to good use whenever possible. You can often find diamonds hidden in these walls that you can destroy with your trusty spade. Shovels do deteriorate with each use, so don't go wasting them too much, but still something to consider if you're looking to farm up diamonds. As you explore the vast lands of Hyrule, you'll be frequently activating Chica stones and obtaining those elusive heart pieces. Since this game has some roguelite elements, you might be struggling to not die, and make sure to activate those new Chica stones and grab those heart pieces when you need them the most, because they are essentially full free heals that are scattered all throughout the map. You already know that shields can reflect projectiles, but blocking can also be quite useful for stopping enemies dead in their tracks, as well as pushing them around on the field. If you're playing as Link or Cadence, you can buy yourself some time without stopping and losing your rhythm multiplier by simply holding your shield out and pushing enemies around until your stamina wears out. This might just save you and give you some time to think when things start to get too hectic and you get surrounded. You'll be finding some permanent and temporary weapons all along your journey, and some of the most powerful ones are quite fragile and break easily. Since these auto-equip once found, make a habit of switching out to your basic weapon immediately and start to amass an arsenal of strong weapons to save for boss encounters and the more challenging fights, Breath of the Wild style. Fairy fountains function quite a bit differently here and will allow you to infuse your weapons with certain special properties. Although you may think that you can have the best of both worlds and infuse the same weapon with multiple elements, you're actually just overriding the last one you put on it, essentially wasting an infusion that could have been used on another weapon. I learned this one the hard way, of course. Remember that glitch you could do in the vanilla version of Link's Awakening where you could skip over the edge of a screen and appear in the next, hopefully past a locked door or a roadblock? No? Maybe? Well, let's be honest, this would usually get you stuck in a wall anyways. Similarly, in Cadence of Hyrule, well, kind of, you can use the Rito Feather's jump ability combined with the down thrust to actually get to some weird locations that would normally not be possible. This can be helpful for getting up on ledges when you mess up some block pushing puzzles or for navigating around dungeons, but the devs are onto this one and quarantined off locked rooms, so no saving keys for us. Still, a very neat little trick that has a variety of uses all over the map. And hopefully those tips allow you to survive just a little longer while you're trapped on the most hazardous dance floor known to man, Cadence of Hyrule. If this happened to pique your interest in the game and you haven't pulled the trigger yet on a download, linked at the end of this video is my full review of the game that should give you a better idea of its entire quality. If you happen to enjoy the style of informative content I do here at Boomstick Gaming, consider subscribing for more, and also check out my updated perks for patrons and YouTube members because these supporters greatly help me to make improvements to the channel while also allowing me to give more back to them. I greatly appreciate that. As always, this has been Alex from Boomstick Gaming, and thanks for watching.